Makes a shot, misses it. Rebound, Tropics. There it is again. Clarence leaping and forcing the ball in a downward direction through the net off of a high arching pass.
Great play.
It sure is. Oh, hold on. I'm just being told that this is called an alley-oop. Yes, that is easier to say.
Quick!
Bonning passes to Jackie. Jackie lobs to Clarence again. Yes! Another alley-oop. The Spurs don't know what's hit him.
I love the alley-oop.
Are there any fish left in northern Wisconsin to be caught after your last couple days?
There's got to be a couple. Keep on finding them. There's plenty that we're seeing that we're not catching, so that's kind of good to see. Fish are up and moving.
I was telling Becker we might have to plan our next year's new moon October trip to northern Wisconsin.
Yeah, dude. Absolute beefcakes are hitting the net.
Yeah, that's insane. It's looking like fun.
It is, and the best part about these big fish right now is they're eating casting lures. So
yes, perfect.
I mean, can't have it any better than that. You know, dragging some meat, but instead they just want that plastic or wood in their face, and yeah, it's good. It's been awesome.
Are you getting any on suckers though?
Yeah. Sucker fishing got good like early October after that warm spell got done. Like, I don't know what that was, around like October 3rd to the 5th, somewhere in there. It got cold, and then they started eating them, and they've continued to semi regularly. We're still in like mid 50-degree water temps, sorta. So it's not like chowing sucker season where like it's a total flip where they kind of stop eating casting lures as much, and it goes to, you know, those days where you feel like you're doing nothing casting and then suckers get eaten. Where a few days lately it feels like the suckers are doing nothing out there, but you got to have them anyways for that, you know, random bite. You just never know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like the sucker bite's just progressively gotten so ass over the past couple of years, so it's just good to hear that they're
Yeah.
They've gotten used to them, it seems like, at least in your neck of the woods, and then Minnesota.
It's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's like in Minnesota. I know it's kind of a Western Minnesota thing, but northern Wisconsin, it seems like the sucker bite is like too well known that it almost brings out musky fishermen that have kept their boat dormant all summer, and then they're like, oh, it's fall, sucker time, and then it's just like fishing in a tournament up here on the weekends, no matter where you pick. You know, it's been a high pressure year. Weekdays are okay, you know, depending on where you choose, but like, you know, those fish are getting, you know, suckers dragged right over their head enough. They're not gonna sometimes eat them as consistent.
Right.
So, but either way, we got plenty of time to talk about this fall fishing. Let's work into
fired up
the true intro of the podcast. Welcome everybody to another episode of Muskies on Tap. I am one of your hosts here tonight, Gus Manti. We got episode 126. We were missing one member, and we gained a member, a guest, a stick in the Muskie game on here tonight. So I'm going to introduce him first, and then he can introduce the other host here. But we got none other than Ryan Becker. How you doing tonight, Ryan?
Good. Doing good. Just was watching the Lions-Bucks game and came down to do the old podcast and sipping on a beer, and just it's been a good Monday.
Hell yeah. What you sipping on?
The new Cyber Shoe from Toppling Goliath.
Now, fill us in on that. I'm not sure.
So
I know much about this.
It's in Decorah, Iowa. It's a brewery. This is their new one. Like, I'm sure you guys have heard of Pseudo Sue, maybe.
I have up here in the cities, but I've never seen a can that looks like that sold anywhere. It's sweet.
Yeah, it just came out. It's super good, actually.
Nice.
Jealous.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That other soothing voice you hear there is none other than my brother, Max. How you doing tonight, Max?
I'm good. I'm a little bummed we're missing our other cohort here this evening. Brian Eckel, he came down with what some are calling the Madison flu. I did attend the Ohio State Badger game on Saturday, and his Buckeyes absolutely rolled the Badgers. So I could only imagine that he was celebrating accordingly. Didn't hear much out of him yesterday all day. Um, so
You
assuming he was just absolutely battling at work today once again, back to back Mondays. I mean, he did call it. He said he's gonna be having a really tough time here on back to back weekends. So Monday pod probably a little bit ambitious on our part to get him on here this evening. But yeah, no, it's good to have Ryan on. We just came off of a weekend fishing together down in Iowa. Have had an absolute blast down there. We can talk a little bit more about that.
I'd
Um,
love to hear more about that. I don't know if I've been fully filled in other than just like updates through the day. So
I mean,
just
I'll let Ryan take it away and kind of what I texted him, or I guess we kind of talked at Clear Lake during the championship about getting together for a weekend, and we were kind of throwing a bunch of different locations around, and ended up, deciding on one down closer in your neck of the woods, and yeah, I mean, it was kind of a weekend of what ifs. I'd probably leave it at that. Would you, I guess, agree?
Yeah, I mean, like they were active and we got the bites. I think what we go 1 for 7. We just how they were eating baits and we just couldn't keep them pinned. And we had some close calls at some really big fish. One in particular, upper 40s, that missed a glider and charged in, and lost another big one on a Suic. Couple nice ones actually, and just yeah, the what ifs for sure. Just I don't know how they were getting off. Like good hook sets, everything seemed good, and just we couldn't keep
I
them pinned.
damn, that's such a I mean, I hate when that happens. I don't know if it like the fish just go on a tear of just short striking or whatnot, but I got a question there on what's your like opinion and how you think they maybe got off or how you think they're eating because right now, I just fished today with my buddy Tyler and then Taylor Flannery was in the boat too, and we were chatting about some recent stuff happening, and both of us on the exact same bait. This is a mag dog. We were having ourselves and clients were getting hits, and by the time you'd like want to do a hook set, nothing was there, but like getting rocked out in the cast and getting teeth marks in the bait. So like fish are whacking these lures, but they're not. I don't know. They're not even getting like a hook, not even like a head shake, but they're not pike. With the gashes in the bait and the spots that we're fishing and history on that. So I don't know if you have like a thought on why you think the fish were getting off if you're, that many were unfortunately coming unpinned or if it was the weather or whatnot.
Yeah, like I said, you're getting for sure musky bites. Sounds like because Max and I caught a bazillion pike, and I was just fixing Suics, and because we had to cut two brand new Suics and swap hooks on them from pike, but then we'd hook in with the muskies and fight them for a little bit, and they would just come off. So most of the bites, pretty much outside of one of Max's Suic bites, were eating on the paws and then get great hook sets, fight them for a little bit, a couple few good head shakes, like they're muskies, especially the one that we lost yesterday morning. Um, the only thing I can think is they're eating it, T-boning it hard on the paws, so clamping down so hard you'd go to set and just not get very good hooks. So when they start opening their mouth, you got them for a little bit, right? But then you could just almost feel them chucking the Suic. So
Yeah,
Dang.
it
Are you
was
using
super bizarre.
what rods are you using with the Suics?
I was using a 10-foot heavy, and I believe Max borrowed the rod and used that as well when he was throwing them. Some on his
Hmm.
10.6 XH, but
That should be enough backbone.
oh
I
yeah,
was I was just wondering if maybe you had like a extra heavy rod or something like that and pulling hooks like too hard through them or something.
yeah,
It was too
no,
flimsy and not I mean, I don't know.
No, it was
Yeah.
like full sets. Rod would fold over. You'd see like a couple head shakes, couple fish we saw. Just they'd go like totally broadside, and it almost just felt like the second that they went broadside, then they would throw the bait. So it was really weird. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I've ever had a weekend going 1 for 7, honestly, on muskies. But like, it didn't felt like we had, I mean, it didn't feel like we could have really done anything better after, like, there was
No.
nothing else. It's not like we lost any that were close to the boat or missed any, nets or anything. It was just like all of them that ate would come up, smash it, and then they were gone in a couple seconds. And so it was weird. And I also think there's a little bit of like mental fatigue because, like you said, we caught so many pike. And not small pike either. Like there was some pretty nice pike and some pretty nice silver pike. Um, and that was kind of a mind fuck too, because like you'd hook a silver pike and it would turn, and I've never even seen a silver pike, so I'd be like, oh, muskie, and then it was a silver pike. Um, and so I think there was like a little hook set fatigue going on too. Not that it affected anything, but it was like you'd rip into a fish and then be like, oh fuck pike, oh fuck pike, and then also it was like, oh fuck muskie, and then it would be off. It was like didn't lose any pike though. I think we went like 43 for 43 on pike.
The
That was
pike were
fun.
bitey for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gus Max caught his first silver, and it was a dandy, thick, you know, beautiful silver. And then by his fourth one, I think he was over it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
For
it's like, all right,
sure.
been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the weirdest thing is the pike, I've never seen so many pike follow. Like they were following in, chasing lures to the boat, like multiple casts in a row. You'd be working down a, weed line or whatever, and it was like you'd get three pike just bombing in three casts in a row. You're like they'd see you'd think, because the water was pretty clear. We were fishing from a distance. You'd be like, oh, I got one coming. And then it was a little choppy, so you just see the brown kind of missile zooming in, and then all of a sudden you'd get up to the boat and freaking dart away at a million miles an hour, and they were all like, upper 20s ish inch pike, maybe low 30s, some of them, but yeah, it was a fun time though. It's cool to explore some new water.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that lake has some true giants. It's a factory. There's 40 plus pounders in that lake. That's obviously where the state record came from. I don't even know how many years ago at 50.5 pounds. And there's still some megas in there.
Yeah,
That
the
is
one we
sizable.
saw was no slouch, that's for
No,
sure.
it was heavy, big giant head. One of the bigger heads I've seen. Like some of the ones I've caught here at home, early September, this one put him to shame. And those were upper 40s, a few of them. So
Yeah,
Goodness gracious.
it's a
I know
shame
that it was a
too.
50, but it was massive upper 40s.
And she
Dang.
wanted to be caught too. I mean,
Oh,
we
yeah.
got her to come in two different times and she tried to eat.
Yep.
It's just,
The Iowa game, they got a fetish for, eating lures.
Pretty much.
The
Yeah.
Iowa fish. Oh man. Well, I know you kind of half brought up Clear Lake. That's your home body of water, Ryan. I know we've had you on a few times, but maybe just give the folks a little background on yourself, guiding, and kind of the area where you're at.
Yeah. Born and raised here in Clear Lake. This is my 20th season muskie fishing, which is actually mind-boggling to me. It's just time is flying. I've been guiding for 6 years, and it's Iowa Muskie Guide Service, and I partner with Tracy Crail and guide with him, and been doing that for 6 years. Like I said, love that. I don't do it full time. It's not my full time job, just part time whenever I can. But yeah, just grew up fishing here, and we've always had muskies. I didn't, when I was a kid, my nickname in high school was Bass because I bass fished all the time. And my uncle actually muskie fished and fished tournaments over in Northwest Iowa, and then that's kind of how I got into it my senior year, and then there was no more bass fishing after that, pretty much. So I still do some, but muskies, especially back then here, was pretty insane. So you got hooked quick.
I was just gonna ask that is obviously it's I think no secret at this point if people listen to this podcast that Clear Lake is pumping out a lot of numbers of fish. Just if they tuned into any of the PMTT stuff around that time frame a couple weeks back. But when you were getting started, it sounds like it was still really good then. Like were they just always dumping a bunch of fish in that lake, or I guess did it ever did you ever I guess did your like time musky fishing on Clear Lake, was it ever not good, or was it has it always just been, you know, solid?
No, because we've had the same fisheries biologist. Shout out to him, Scott Grummer. He's done an amazing job, and I know he's really pumped about this PMTT here to see what was going to happen. And I think he's probably got to be pretty impressed. But it's it's been phenomenal ever since I started. There's been some changes. Like back then, you could have a better shot to catch, 48, even 50 plusers. And it just seems like somewhere along the way, the genetics changed potentially. And the stocking, their Iowa Great Lakes, they're their own. That's all of our fish come from the Okoboji Spirit Lake hatchery. So, but it's just seems like something changed from like 10 to 12 years ago to now. It's like, you know, this May I had a client hook into one that was 50 to 51, I would say pretty positively. But other than that, I haven't seen a 50 in quite a few years.
Huh. I wonder what caused that, or because I mean, it is crazy. Like you think with the amount of fish that they dump in there, like you'd eventually just luck into a few mutants. Just kind of out of how many fish get put in, but maybe yeah, there was just something with the actual genetics of the fish they stock, or maybe there's just so many in there that they have a tough time getting big potentially, or is that, I mean, I guess if it was always a big time numbers like and you were having big fish too, though, that wouldn't really make sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. We've always had the numbers. So that's kind of been the questionable thing. And maybe now there's with the natural reproduction, maybe when we started to get that, now there's too many and it stunted them a little bit. But I mean, they're still super quality big fish, 48, 49s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
no, I was just saying maybe that is a factor. And then, I don't know if you guys saw Tempe's fish. He had a scraggly one. I've caught some scraggly ones that are just super skinny and they could be old, but definitely a thought. Maybe there is too many and
Yeah,
just,
that's
I mean, did they fike net like a bunch of really, really, really small fish this past year or something you were telling us?
yeah.
Like in a
So,
walleye survey, or was
like
it, I don't
eight
know if it was a
inchers.
muskie survey or what it
yeah.
was,
So
but
2 years ago, like back to back or even 3 years in a row, Grummer fike netted in the fall or electroshocked a bunch of like 6 to 8 inches. So those are all natural and like
Oh my God.
dozens of them. So yeah,
That, I feel like the natural reproduction side of your fishery, along with the stocking, I think you're probably onto something with like the stunted growth. Because, like, not many, I mean, there's a few places up here in northern Wisconsin you kind of see that, but like a prime example would be the Eagle River chain where they've made kind of like a central hub kind of up here of stocking because there's so many tournaments on there where like it has upper 40s and it does have like, a chance at a 50 if you fish it long
yep,
enough. Like they exist, but there is a lot of 30 to 35s and half of those are pretty skinny, but it seems like the ones that do survive to 40 plus out here are like thicker, and it seemed
yep,
like exactly the same of what we saw at Clear Lake. Like we got some nice ones pre-fishing. Max got some nice ones
yep,
pre-fishing,
yeah.
and the
And you
couple
had a
really,
big one, yep.
and a couple nice ones were like they were not, they weren't slouchers for being September fish, you
No,
know.
it's super healthy.
But yeah, definitely I could see how a stunted population could happen.
Yeah. And one thing I'll say is like you guys fished a championship and did great and saw the numbers that it kicked out. I'm telling you, if it would have been cloudy for even one of those days or two back to back, there would have been 200 plus fish caught. And I'm not even kidding. Like that's how many numbers are in here. So
Yeah, I mean, I believe it 100%. Like if the tournament had been the weekend prior, I think people were
Oh,
saying that they were going out and pre-fishing. I know Dan Watusick told us that he caught like 9 pre-fishing on that Saturday before. I think you said Ty was out there just smashing them that Saturday before. I think you went out
I
there
went out.
and you
Yeah.
had to like stop, right? Like you're just like, I can't keep
I
doing
think, yeah, I only fished 3 hours and like a little rain, like misty, cloudy stuff rolled in. I think I caught like 4 in an hour or something. And I'm like, yeah, I better just leave.
it.
I mean, it was insane. So yeah, if the tournament would have been that weekend, it could have been ridiculous.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we talked about this, but just for the people maybe wondering, how has the fishery recovered in the last couple weeks? I mean, they haven't ever experienced that much pressure probably in a given 3 to 5 day stretch ever, maybe in the history of Clear Lake. I don't know how if there's ever been bigger tournaments maybe there in the past, but yeah, they were getting beat on pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's the biggest turnabout. That's the most pressure they've ever seen, and I've never seen him change like that. So that's where in day 2 and 3 it was tough for me to adapt because I've never seen that scenario what they did, and they pushed off and were in those deeper weeds. But they bounced back quick. I think I texted you guys, what was it, 2 days after or something, a day and a half, and I got that good 45 and a quarter and a couple other ones, and it was steady this last week. Clients did really well with me. Um, I don't know if I want to tell you this, Max, but Saturday was super good here.
Oh,
My cousin's dad went out. He got a 43, a 42, some upper 30s. It was good, obviously, with the clouds rolled in here, but we were going for something different and some bigger fish. So,
yeah, I don't regret the call we made at all. I mean, it was like you said, you needed a little change of scenery, and I'm always down to like do something new.
yeah.
So
Yep.
it was fun. And now honestly, like all that trip did was make me want to go back. I mean, I don't think it's probably too big of a secret for people think we're fishing because there's not that
No.
many lakes in Iowa.
Yeah. No.
Context clues.
I'll say this after this weekend with you, I was talking to my cousin. We were going to go to Mille Lacs in early November, first or second week or whatever, and now we're talking about Iowa trophy hunt over there because it has that potential, and that's how good it was. So,
Yeah, just like I think, it's kind of like what we were talking about, and I'm sure a lot of people listening to this can relate. Like this time of year, is obviously fun. You still have that shot at like a potential giant, as they kind of start to blimp out. But like it is kind of a weird time of year because it feels like the fish can be really anywhere. And it
mhm.
was like we were kind of talking like, man, it'd be nice to know that if like we just knew they were out deep or knew that they were in shallow, and it felt like realistically, we could have stuck to one or the other game plans and probably gotten bites doing either one.
Yeah,
But it was just like kind of a little bit of a mind fuck.
and like we talked out on the boat, like how fast the days were going, and a
Yeah.
shorter day on Sunday because you had to
Oh
get
yeah.
back. But it's like and the wind kind of factored a little bit, not too much on Saturday, but it's like I think those fish were all over the board. So it made it tough to make the right decisions. And we made good decisions. We had tons of action, but could we have went out on the secondary break, the 12 to 14 foot and fished the bald break line and caught fish? Probably. Cause they're there. That lake's tough because it's just a 25-foot barren basin so just needed a few more days to kind of put some stuff together, I think.
What was
Yeah.
the water temps you guys were working with?
57, 55 to 57,
Yeah.
depending on the area.
Wow.
And that's a factor too. It's like, it's sweet because you're crushing Gus over there with mid 50s temps, casting still. We're getting these cold fronts, but it's staying stable, like nothing crazy drastic. So it's keeping the fish spread out a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of some variability in spread out fish. We had like it was only like a couple days ago, like randomly it heated up for 2 days in a row. And one of those days was super sunny. And God, it almost I almost saw 60 again. And I'm like, come on, dude. It's like October 17th and 18th or whatever. And I'm like, it was kind of screwing with the fish a little bit, but just the first little, lick of cold again, and the fish just fired right back up and sitting in that low, more of that mid 50-degree water temp, and I definitely finding some fish deep, but holy crap, man, there's some fish shallow, like very
Just gonna ask
Yeah.
shallow.
you if you're still seeing them in weeds, because
Both
that
those back-to-back days of like pretty much 30 pounders, each of those were in sub 5, 6 feet of waters where they're sitting. So
And that's what we were told over there too, 0 to 4 feet. Max and I did a lot of sitting in 9, and that's where we're having our action. We did have action super shallow as well. But that's the thing too for your listeners with what's going on. I don't think the bait fish really know what to do. Like Max and I had sheep's head in 5 feet of water feeding on the surface and flying around. It's like, all right, that's kind of
it's
unheard of for this year. They should be deeper on deeper breaks in the mud, like kind of.
Gus,
So
it was
I don't
straight
know.
up aquarium status. Like the water was really
dude,
clear,
yeah.
and like when we were driving on Sunday morning, um, in like 9 foot of water, I mean, you could see these weed beds, and like it'd be, barren, no fish, like just a little shitty scrub weed, and then you'd get into like some kind of like older cabbage and whatever that other like milfoil, or I don't know what it was, but
Like a pond cabbage and then a
yeah.
lot of milfoil and coontail.
Yeah, and like the second you'd get into the weed beds that were out in like that depth, it was just like loaded with bait, and you could see them all. Like you're just watching these massive schools of whatever swimming around, and then next thing you know, we literally just visually see a muskie
Yeah.
swimming, like, nice 45. It's like, oh shit, there's one we'd like to get in the net.
Dude, yeah, there's some I don't know if it's like I mean, I wish I'd know more exactly on this, but I don't know if it's because we're at that temp where like, everyone talks about the turnover, but like if lakes have turned over, or if they even turn over at all, like this is the time of year where the whole water column's the same
Yep.
temperature. Like the
Yep.
surface is the same temperature as the bottom. Everything mixes up, which is good, and oxygen levels like stabilize, and they're fish that can be stuck to the mud on the bottom and active, and there's fish that can be in a couple feet of water and active. And anytime I see all the shiner pods, like or perch fry, whatever they are, they're always suspended. Like when they're out deep, they're always like in the top 4 feet. So
Yeah.
they're
For sure.
liking they're liking that top bit of the column. So and muskies naturally want to be comfortable. They're lazy creatures that don't want to do a lot to go eat their food. So like they want to be where it's the most stable.
For sure. Yeah, and that's the thing too, if you're fishing different lakes, if perch population, bluegills, crappies. Apparently I found out, Max, the crappie bite was ballistic over there. And I think that's what we saw on that west shoreline.
Oh
Those guys were
yeah,
crushing crappies in that big 45, 40.
crushy
Yeah.
crappies.
And I think that was where you saw that 45, 46 that I was probably the one I dumped yesterday, lost. Um, but then you got a whole nother squad. You kind of joke here about fish just are obsessed with eating baits. Those fish over there, I swear, are obsessed with eating sheep's head for whatever reason. Just charging them around. But yeah,
Did you throw
no,
big enough lures?
I don't
Hell
know.
no.
No, I don't think we did.
I don't own anything that replicates a 7 pound sheep's head.
Yeah, no.
What do you mean?
Well,
We
for some context here, Becker, could you share the story of the picture that you sent me prior to coming over there?
Yeah, so my buddy who's a guide in the area where these lakes are sent me a picture of a 51 and a half that they found floating. It had choked on a 7 pound sheep's head and died on its own. And, they picked it up and brought it in, and just a massive fish, and literally tried to eat a 7 pound sheep's head and thought he could make it, but didn't.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
7 pounds.
Yeah,
Never
that's
worried about throwing baits too big. You're not.
nope.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
imagine
no.
that. Yeah, I'm just thinking in my head, imagining just a fish of that size. If you're somehow throwing a bait that size, like head hunting that bait at your feet or something, you'd be like,
Oh
oh my
man.
God.
Yeah.
I could still see a 32-incher eating it too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
start.
mean, I'll
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was just saying, you start throwing pounders, even 2 pounders. You're like, I don't know. Feels big, but it ain't.
Just ain't.
They're just move. It's just, I mean, dude, like think of all the pike that I mean, pike absolutely
Yeah.
destroyed your mag dog this week, and
Oh yeah.
that happens all the time. It's like,
Yeah.
I think the first fish we ever got, Gus, you ever got on a Magnum swimming dog was a pike.
The super
So
mag,
the super
the
mag, yeah,
like
the
the
giant.
one, yeah, rip trolling, Greg style.
Nice.
I remember I had it in my hand. And I'm like, I didn't really want to put it in the rod holder because I wanted to make sure, like, as soon as I touched bottom, I could rip it off of it because it was late fall and I wanted to keep it down low. And I remember just giving it a rip and feeling on the fall a tick, and I'm like, no way. Set the hook, and I'm like, oh my God, a head shake. And then immediately I'm like, it doesn't feel like I got anything on. And, those are like 10-aught mustads or something on there. It's just a pike, like fully enclosed on one of those hooks, all three trebles, two through the upper roof, one through the bottom jaw. And I'm like, are you kidding
Oh
me?
yeah.
It's
That's
like
not shocking.
I don't know what the length on that lure is, but it was not much longer.
Crazy.
All right, so Becker, you grew up, learned how to musky fish in Iowa, but then uh, you spent some time over in western Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So, yeah, what brought you over there? How long were you out that way for?
I lived there for 4 years, and I just went up there. My cousin's uncle owns a dealership up there, and um just Brad and Carrie being up there, and I just wanted to go experience living up there because I would go up there and fish with Jason Hammernick, and I just grew to love it up there. And that was back when West Minnesota was at its peak, or just coming off of it, maybe a little bit. And just those lakes were so incredible, and I loved the area too. So I just moved up there and lived up there for 4 years and worked. And I didn't guide up there much, just a few trips. Just worked full time up there and hunted and fished, and yeah.
Well, like I guess you're saying it was kind of after the peak, but what was fishing like up there at that time? Do you feel like that's kind of when you started to really get on your game per se, like in the muskie world, or were you pretty well rounded already, like before you moved up there?
No, I was, I had, let's see, probably like 8 years under my belt when I moved up there. But what was it? I'm trying to think. I didn't remember. I was 26 when I moved up there, like I said. But yeah, so I had experience, but I definitely got really good at fishing deep, clear lakes, because that's what those are, Miltona and West Battle and all those. And there's shallow lakes as well up there. But I really got good at like fishing deep and slow, and learning how those fish reacted, and that definitely added to the arsenal. Um, you know, just and that was when those lakes had really good numbers. And it seems like it's on the downhill. I went Labor Day weekend this year, and we caught a few fish, but it's not what it was. It's definitely kind of hurts to see, but
What was fishing with Hammernick like back then? Did you go out on many trips with him, or just kind of fish with him a couple times?
yeah. So early in my career, I hired a guide out of Mille Lacs, and he was good. We didn't have any action. And then I hired Hammernick, and the first time I hired him was on West Battle. And I went with him, and I'm a visual learner. So I watched him, and just from then on, I'd start booking him. And my biggest fish is with him in 2011, my 55 3/4 by 28 1/4. And just like watching him work baits and figure eight, in my opinion, he's still the best to have ever done it. There's so many good, phenomenal fishermen, but just the drive he has, and I think he has that in every single thing that he does, whether it's golf or gambling or saltwater fishing, just he's all in on whatever he's doing at that moment. And man, just I learned definitely my mentor, and I learned so much from him. And I think that's made me the angler that I am today in the muskie world for sure.
So when you say that he's just like he's got a lot of drive when he's out there, is it, I mean, I guess like if you could point to anything that like it really is, is it just like the actual tactics that he's doing? Is it more so like just the fact that he's not willing to throw in the white flag or wave the white flag, I guess, on certain days? Like, I guess what is it that kind of stuck out to you as like, oh shit, this is like maybe a little different level of fishing?
Yeah, just for sure the knowledge that he had, but by far the not wanting to wave the white flag. Like, just you could, you book a trip with him for a full day, which is supposed to be an 8-hour day, but then you're at hour 12, and he's, just he could grind like nobody else. And, his body was just like, yeah, dude was a machine. I mean, that many days in the sun and the heat and the cold in the fall, and just how that guy could, yeah, it was crazy. Just the effort alone.
That is
And that's,
highly impressive.
yeah, and that instilled in me big time too.
Yeah, can
There's
confirm.
dude, there's something to be said about that. Just like the old PMA, the positive musky attitude, body language, like, not getting down and just, I don't know, thinking that it can happen on any cast or visualizing it on any cast. I mean, of course, it helps, on a day where you get one or maybe even get one early. That's going to help the confidence level, but it's almost just like, gotta grind it out, gotta grind it out. I mean, you can use moon phases sometimes as your bite windows or excuse to grind harder, but I mean, most of the time it's random, especially those big ones. It's just
Yeah.
they're on their whole different feeding level. And I guess I was gonna have a question maybe for those big fish you guys were after in Minnesota there. But I mean, I'm sure they were just as predictable as anywhere else, or unpredictable, I should say, like when they ate, other than just fishing good spots.
Yeah, I mean, it's still musky fishing. There was always tough days, but that's like what you said, like going back to learning from him. It's like if you have the PMA and you go that much harder, well, like every single cast, you're focused and like working your baits how they should be worked in your own technique or whatever. Like up in West Minnesota, it was like back in the day, like, and it still is like as slow as you could possibly reel a bucktail, like you'd be coming in like vertical, and you'd look down, a few feet behind your bait, and you'd just see white lips coming up, and you'd get up and you'd just burst up to the boat in your figure eight, and those fish would just go ballistic, stuff like that. And versus if you got lazy and started to burn your bucktail in, well, you're missing fish and all the factors, you know.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Almost like you're getting their attention first,
Yep.
something super easy. And I'm sure plenty of times they ate it out in the cast when you're going
Yeah. Oh
slow
yeah.
like that.
Yep. Yep. A
But
lot. Very
I mean,
much.
and of course, like everyone that's listening on here probably has listened to Backlash. I mean, Brad Hoppy,
Yep.
Muskie Mayhem talks about that like a lot, having a low gear ratio reel and just barely reeling in a cowgirl and getting fish. It's something that like I don't know if I can mentally get behind too much. I mean, I've tried it, I guess, but like it's always moderate to fast for me, and
Yeah.
it probably burns me in some cases.
With those two, you almost got to fish with them. And even Jason learned it because, all those three were kind of the originators of the Cowgirls, Brad and Carrie. And then Jason got on with them and learning from them. And I lived with Brad and Carrie for the last year I was up there. And it's like a second family to me. But I'll tell you what, Carrie can crawl a Cowgirl, and she's insanely good.
That's awesome. A lot of patience with that. Like,
For sure.
man, what was sticking on that Minnesota train? I feel like I've probably asked this to people, especially when we're kind of reminiscing about this, but like what was some of the, like, or maybe one crazy bite you got onto once that was maybe a little bit more obscure, or maybe just thinking of like one random day you caught one in a dumb way. I don't know if that would be like, I don't know, bouncing bottom or flipping dot. I don't know, something random that kicked out of Minnesota that you're just like, how did that work?
Something random.
Because I'm trying to
That's a
think, is
that's a good question.
because there's
Well,
just so many random ways to get these
I've
things.
I've had people with me up there. I'll just on West Battle, backlash their cowgirl on a 30-foot break line, which is what I've used to fish out there. It's just deeper breaks and stuff, and all the way to the bottom. And the person got their backlash out and just ripped up the bucktail and started to reel again, and the fish ate it right off the bottom. And so, I mean, that's pretty crazy, but
That's
Is
a
there
pattern.
was there any like crazy bite that you got onto in Minnesota when you lived up there though that was just like, maybe a new bait came out or something different that was like, oh, you guys just started smashing fish on them. Like, whether it was like CBJs got popular, flaptails, or, maybe different rubber baits that you guys were
yeah.
throwing that just got really hot for you for
It's
a stretch of time.
when you mentioned rubber, when the swimming dog first came out, that thing was absolutely ridiculous up there,
Hmm.
like beyond belief. And not the shallow one, the regular, the thin, flat-sided one. That thing was crazy.
You have to
Is
do
it?
much with it, or was it kind
No,
of just a straight retrieve?
straight retrieve. You could count it down if you wanted, but those fish love bucktails in West Minnesota and still do, and just always will. Back then it was even crazier, but then when that came out, yeah, you just work slow reel it just like you're slow rolling a cowgirl and just burst up at the boat, and those things caught so many fish. Um, top water is attributed to shallow, but I got on a bite out there like on the deep break lines. And I caught some big fish too. 51 and a half was the biggest doing it, but way out on the deep breaks, and those fish would, I'm assuming, shoot up from the bottom and like eat the top water on the deep 20-foot break line, like out all the way out of the water. And then you'd have to sit there and just chill and hold your rod until they landed, and then you'd see bubbles start to blow up, and then you just hammer a hook set. Some crazy stuff like that for sure.
I don't even know how you teach that to somebody. It's like, even if you see them hit it like a freaking great white, don't
Oh,
don't set until they
yeah.
go down and pull.
Good
Yep.
luck.
Yeah, that 51 and a half, and others did it too, but that one in particular, I was by myself, and a 51 and a half skyrocketing all the way out of the water, and it seemed like forever. It wasn't, obviously seconds, but it like eats, you're sitting there like, wow. And then it lands and you just see bubbles start blowing up, and you're just like, all right. Stuff like that. But
That's wild. All right. Well, speaking of lures, let's maybe break this up here. You and I were, I don't even know how we got on talking about this on the boat. I think maybe because we were throwing so many Suics, and I can't remember if you said like there's probably more muskie caught on Suics than any other bait in the world, and I was like, really? You think so? And I started thinking about it. I'm like, man, like a number five or like just a bucktail in general, like I feel like it would be a rival. So Gus, I wanted to open it up to you and ask the
Hmm.
question, what bait do you think has caught the most muskies in the history of muskie fishing?
I mean, Suic has got to be up there. It's been what? Is it the 70s or is it earlier? I think
I'll
70s,
look it
something.
up. I'll
Look
look
it
it up.
up. Yeah, jog my memory. I think other than say like a Mepps Muskie Killer or Giant Killer, one that kind of pops to my mind that I'm pretty sure has been around a really long time would be a Grandma crankbait. Just because when they came out and trolling probably got popular. I mean, think about the numbers that people can put up trolling that over time.
So
add
I
up.
think to make the question easier, you'd almost have to categorize it by like instead of just saying a suic, you'd almost just have to say dive and rise because it wouldn't be fair to say
Oh,
like
like a jerk
suic
bait
and then
blade.
say like all of bucktails, Okay, so suic came out, was first commercially offered around 1942. But it came out in the 30s, but they didn't start selling it to 1942. I was telling Becker, I'm pretty sure the story wasn't the guy who invented it out on Pelican Lake and like the Muskie Alliance, the Muskie Club that was on
Mhm.
Pelican Lake tried to ban the lure from
It
him
caught
using it
like
because he was catching too many fish.
it caught a muskie a day for like 30 days straight, all on Suix or something like that. People like probably like, what the hell? Get them out.
Yeah, that's got a in the 40s, 42. That's a long
It's
history being out.
earlier
I
than I
mean,
remember.
yeah, that's if you categorize it, obviously bucktails are probably going to win that. I would say maybe,
Probably,
but
probably.
as far as a specific bait, man, Suic's got to be up there.
So the bucktail apparently was put into use sometime. Deer hair and a blade was used by anglers in the Depression era, the 1930s, or maybe even earlier. For example, Depression era stories suggest anglers made bucktails themselves from deer tails, um, likely in the 1930s or earlier for musky fishing.
I
So
mean,
it was around the same time the Suic came out, if you want to, I guess if that helps your line of thinking at all. I'd
say it.
probably say bucktail over Suic
Yeah,
just because I'm thinking of like
Who throws
call
what?
it 2002 to 2025. I feel like a lot of muskies have been caught on
man,
boat.
not even like yeah,
Like when
that's
that
for sure.
cowgirl came out, and now muskie frenzy, and just the hunt. Like I feel like every couple years we've had these new bucktails that have come out, and they just still smash fish. And you look at like I just think of like when I'm out muskie fishing and I'm watching what other people are throwing, like 7 out of 10 times it's a
It's a
bucktail, I feel.
bucktail.
Yeah.
And it's got to be, I don't know. It seems like just got to be different sometimes. I've talked to some people who have fished some extremely pressured water, not up here, and their tactic is actually when they're out on like a weekend and that's all they got to musky fish, they throw whatever nobody's throwing. So like if everyone's throwing like a bucktail and then they see rubber and stuff, they'll throw a jerk bait or top water. Just like totally switch it up. And I feel like I see that up here. Like as soon as the fish seem to get super pressured, all of a sudden it's like, wait, I haven't thrown this and that bucktail in a while. And then all of a sudden you catch a fish that acts like it's never seen a bait before. But at the end of the day, there's some baits that work all year. I don't know. On that question, I was gonna say, yeah, single bladed deer hair bucktail has got to be like numero uno. I mean, think about how many just like trout it catches, bass, pike. I mean, just like a single little mep spinner French blade. That's got to be up there. When did MEPS start? Um,
Take a look.
but because then rubber wasn't until the what was some of the ones like the Big Joe, the Creature. I think like the
That had
Creature
to be
was
like late 90s, well, mid to late
80s,
90s.
90s.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably didn't even have the right gear for rubber for a long time, even if people were.
Right.
The Muskie Killer made its debut back in 1961. The Giant
Okay.
Killer, 1972. So, Suic, I didn't realize that the Suic came out so much earlier than, or wait, when did I say the Suic came out?
1942.
1942. So yeah, I mean, MEPS was 20 years after Suic came out, which is kind of crazy. Were they like the original bucktail company that actually was like making them? I can't think of anything
I don't
before
know
them.
that yeah, if there was only like one company, maybe.
Hmm.
But but not like a big name company like Maps.
I'm
I'm
not,
just curious.
and I'm looking up rubber too. I'm not seeing, I mean, I'd have to probably dig a lot of articles and somebody that's been around the game could know, but I mean, I've been told like the creatures and, like a jig head with, this big salamander looking thing. What's this? Squirming jig on here. It's,
Bulldog came out in 1993.
and all these are talking about these type of soft plastics in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s, which is what I thought was kind of like
Yeah.
the time that came about. And then Bulldog was like probably the first kind of musky-ish specific soft plastic and
Those, those like first couple years with Rubbermaid's probably just committed like mass fucking
murder out there.
murder.
Because they
Yeah.
still choke
Oh
rubber up.
man. Yeah.
Those fish are
Uh,
probably like, oh, finally a real meal.
Dude, when I first started throwing rag bulldogs here, oh my gosh. It'd be like 5 docks in a row and you'd catch one on every single dock, maybe more. It was nuts.
yeah. I
Oh my
mean,
God.
yeah. I've asked this multiple times on this podcast, and I'm like, I don't feel like there's a bait that exists anymore that could come out that muskies would just chew like they used to for like when a bucktail was invented or when a bulldog was invented or when the cowgirl came out. Like I feel like we've tapped that market maybe, unfortunately.
I've thought about that a lot too. I'm with you. There's no way, just because of how pressured the fish are. There's exceptions of they're like a new lake that's never been fished, right?
Hmm.
That would be the only exception.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
Max, oh,
but
unless you had something to add there, I was going to say you had that other good question sent in by the listener.
oh yeah.
If you give that guy a shout out.
Yeah, let me pull that up. All right, question from Randy Reteg. Shout out, Randy.
Shout out, Randy.
Um, he said, okay, I ain't gonna phone in, but seeing as you guys know your hockey, what would be your guys' Gordie Howe hat trick, fight, assist, goal of musky fishing? I.e., mine would be a top water rubber and catching one on a sucker in the same day. Purely hypothetical, as catching three in any day would be hard enough. What's your thoughts? So Gordie Howe hat trick is yeah, a goal, an assist, and a fight all in the same game. Gus, I'm gonna start with you because I feel like you actually did complete your Gordie Howe hat trick
Did
last
last
year.
year. Yeah, had the goal of catching one on a sucker, catching one trolling, and catching one casting on the same day, and got her done last year. One was on the big one to end the night was on the MK65 bomb squad flap tail. Sucker fish was the second one, and the first one was when we were mapping out looking for bait and scored a trolling fish as kind of a bonus, and lost another one casting in the middle there too. But hit that all in a like a 4.5 hour window, 2 half-day guide trip, and I was extremely pumped about that. Come close since, we've had some sucker sucker fish and a trolling fish on the same day, and of course like a sucker fish and a casting fish, mix and match them. But that's it. I'd have to, while you guys go, I'd have to think if there's maybe another one that'd be kind of cool to chase after or have a goal, I should say.
I
Max, you
got
got it?
one. Yeah, this would be I don't know if you've ever done this, Gus. But and it wouldn't even be something I'd be like, I think the only reason why I'm thinking of it is because he asked the question, but it only really pertains to northern Wisconsin or maybe Wisconsin in general, but catching a clear, a barred and a tiger straight muskie all on the same day. So getting one clear greenie, getting a barred
Mm,
greenie, and getting a tiger muskie
it's
because
not
that's kind of like the
many.
three strains of muskie in northern Wisconsin, or the three like aesthetic type strains in northern Wisconsin.
You'd probably have to move lakes in there.
I don't know, man. I feel
The
like
Eagle
there's
River,
definitely a decent amount of barred and clear
yeah,
strain muskies in the same lakes. I mean, I can think of multiple lakes we've caught super green fish and super barred up fish.
yeah.
Same
Oh
way.
yeah, actually, never mind. Yeah, I'm thinking of more now that I think about it. That's pretty. That would be a toughie. Let alone just catching a tiger. You know, catching. I
Well,
mean,
yeah, for
some
sure. It'd be
some people go a long time without catching them. This year kind of been on a hiatus since like that's late August and September time frame. They were like hopping in the boat. Um, caught like I think it was like
every
seven
year
and
they do, man. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is about that time frame, but like tigers in late September are just, and honestly early September, just I don't
yep.
know, peanut butter and jelly. I do not understand. So I would
It was
love to know the reason that that happens because it's clockwork every year.
they hit yeah they hit on some clockwork time frames. Of course, you got to be fishing said lakes and run into one, but like on average, it's like yeah, some August heat's good. Some of the cool downs and then first meet in pre-turnover, they start chowing again for whatever reason, and then you kind of don't see them again until like bitter cold November, late October. Then they start eating suckers again like crazy, and it seems like suckers is all they want for a bit. I don't know.
I'm
Ryan,
gonna
have
have
you
to,
thought of one?
I have one. I was just gonna say I'm gonna have to put that in my calendar because I've never caught a tiger. But yeah, so probably I don't know. The first two are tough. I have my goal as far as like the last thing that I would want to do in a day. Probably catch one on a top water and then on a pounder in the same day. And then my goal last thing would be to catch a double
Yeah,
same day. Like catch multiple
Yeah,
fish or fish on the first two baits and then a double, a true casting double. I've caught trolling doubles, but
casting double would be dope.
yeah,
we
that's
had we
tough.
were
Max and I
close
were
to a
very,
double.
very close. I think Max was figure eighting one when I got crushed by that nice fish out on the Suic that I lost.
No way, dang.
Yeah.
I
That's
didn't
just
tell you about that.
I've had that happen a few times. And even with Hammernick, when we fished Miltona, I had just caught a 52, let that go, and then I was figure eighting another fish, and he got crushed out on the cast, fought it, lost it, and mine tried to eat in the figure eight, didn't. I've came close, but I've not
Yeah.
caught a casting double.
Yeah, I don't think ours, yeah, ours was close, but I don't know if the timing would have worked out because I feel like, yeah, I don't know. It would have been interesting if that fish stuck around like another turn and you kept yours pinned
Right.
because like it looked like a pretty good bite and you would have been fighting that thing in and then like, I don't know if
Yeah,
that fish
because
hung around, I would have been like,
well,
what do I do? What do I do?
yeah, I remember that fish because it seemed like it was lazy, but then you got it to peel back up on it and round that second turn with you on like your second figure eight. So I'm like, yeah,
Maybe. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, a couple of them did that, and then they just, I don't know. I feel like that water clearing up
yeah.
was
That's
not our friend for that.
nope, nope. Clouds and low light, just like we knew in that minor Saturday evening, was key.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was about the most predictable bite
Yep.
ever.
And we knew that. We knew it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was tough. Like, yeah. I mean, it didn't take the fun out of it. I mean, it was still great.
Yeah.
But it was just hilarious. We were both like, we know we're gonna get one on this, like
Right.
right around peak on this spot because there was 14 fish sitting in the same weed bed, and we're like, they're gonna eat on this minor, it's just
I
Yeah.
you
4 minutes after moon, catch
yeah,
one.
just boom. We're like, yep, knew that was happening.
Yep.
I can't help but laugh hearing that. Literally was just talking with Taylor in the boat about this. It's like even if you see one on side image and cast at it and it comes to the boat, you still act surprised. It's like, oh my
Right.
God, there
Like,
it
oh
is.
God, oh my God.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
I don't know how that
Yeah.
works, but minds are
It's just, dude, I don't know what it is. And I was not a huge, like, I always believed in Moon for sure. Don't get me wrong. Or I guess don't misunderstand this. But this year, fishing the Metro and then a little bit down in Iowa now, like, this fall has been, and I've been hearing it from other people too. It's just been freaking clockwork. Like, it feels almost, it does feel almost impossible outside of Moon. Like, I went and fished
dang.
the Metro on Friday afternoon with Aiden. Shout out Aiden. Aiden's angling. And
Johnson, maybe?
yeah, Aiden Johnson. We were
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of joking around, like, yeah, we're just kind of waiting on Moon. And sure enough, like right as peak hits, here comes one screaming in all squirrely and like, doesn't end up eating, but that was, the hottest fish we saw that day, and it was right on peak. And then, a couple other lazy follows after that. But that was, probably catchable. Just some user
Dang.
error there, but
It
Dang
sounds
it.
like Gus, your bite lately has been on the minor, and mine has too the last couple weeks.
Absolutely.
Coming off that or coming towards New Moon there. And it's like I told Max this weekend, I'm like, dude, it gets to a point where it's so predictable where like you want to fish all day. It's kind of a double-edged sword, but it's like I could go out for the 2 hours during the minor and catch, 1 to 3 bites or whatever. You're gonna get a bite. And then same with the major, it's like it's kind of nice when it gets that predictable, but at the same time, you're like, you know, you go
getting a
out,
little
put the
lost
boat
on
in, you
some.
put the boat in for a few hours is all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm trying to think if I'd equate this to it's probably for sure moon, but like the weather started to change, last night and that's when Dad and I stuck those really nice fish, big double, had another hit, raised a couple more, and that was all in like a very short hour and a half time around that minor, sorta, but we didn't get out until basically when that was. And, we got the sucker fish in the first 5 minutes before we even started casting. It just, set the rods and started drifting into the spot and boom, got that. And then woke up the next day to start early, and we didn't start until after that minor, which, working into the new moon, that minor in the morning isn't until before sunrise. And we got out there when that was done and well before the major, and it was like, there's a fish, lost a fish. A little bit later, saw one, and then caught another big one. And then the major started, and basically Taylor and I just sat down. It's like, well, they're not going to bite now because they already did.
Yep.
And going
Same.
that
And
7 hours with only seeing one fish, and then the minor was like non-existent. But the weather changed. The wind got insanely howling and it felt good for a bit, but just I don't know. Between that night and morning, it's almost like maybe it could have been weather. I
yep.
don't know. I don't know.
Well, then the old saying, weather trumps all. And Max and I had outside of moon window bites as well, but definitely can pretty much bet on the major or the minor. One of those two, they're going to bite, if not both.
It's
Yeah.
definitely been the minor right now. The
Yep.
major has been okay.
Yep.
Um, but I don't know. There's like a time we've talked about this on the podcast, like in November or whatever. Uh, there's random days and couple day stretches where that does not matter, and it's like if you are not on your best spot at 2 p.m., that's when they're biting, like 2 to
Yep.
3
Oh,
p.m.
yeah.
That 1 to 2 hours before sunset, because it's dark here by like 4:30
Yep.
in November, and it's like that peak heat of the day,
Yep.
2 o'clock. That
Yep.
was
That
yeah,
becomes very crucial.
yeah,
Same for sure.
Yeah, I guess I don't want to be too like Moon heavy here because it is true. We got bites this weekend outside of Moon. It just felt like when we were in our Moon windows, we had
yeah,
a lot of action. And it is like, it's funny that you talk about windows prior to Moon phases too, because like that will happen randomly. Like we saw that in Clear Lake where there was just this mega window like an hour and a half before that afternoon minor every day. It was like,
It
but it
shifted
was
with it
clockwork.
too.
It shifted with it. Like it would just get 30 minutes later every day, that window would open up for no reason. And it was like not in the minor at all. It was just, but it, but it lagged like every day. It would just like start moving
11,
down. And
11:30,
we were talking about
noon.
this, Becker. It's like the only way you can really find that out is by fishing all day.
Yep,
Because if you
100%.
don't, then
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
you're just
yeah, for sure.
so really a double-edged sword
Yeah,
here.
that's what I was
It's
saying.
fall.
Hmm.
These animals are crazy.
Hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
fall things, man. You gotta it's not the summer where you can kind of work through a couple bite windows a day and be able to take 2 half-day trips in a day. Like I tell this to people whether they're going on their own or going with a guide or they're also a guide, like definitely try your best. These days are short. Like use your day, like get out there. And of course, always fish when you can. It's never a bad time to fish.
Right.
But if you can, use the day because you might have to fish 8 to 10 hours or however long the days are right now. They're shortening quick to find that one bite window. Because not every day in the fall they're going to bite multiple times a day. It could just be like 1 hour of the entire daylight when they bite, or at least
Yeah.
consistently. I mean, it just happens. I mean,
Yeah, and that's the same with after dark. Like you said, they're 1 hour during the daylight. That was probably 1 hour during the dark as well. I see
yep.
that a lot here. There's a heavy night bite when you get into that cold water, but it's only like 30 minutes to an hour long.
Got to fish all night to find it.
Yeah, exactly.
After you fish all day.
I mean,
Uh,
shit, on Saturday, we didn't break for more than 3 minutes just driving to different spots.
I was
Yeah.
gonna ask too if you did the pack lunches or if you took the old
I don't
No,
think
the
Becker took a
I
sip of
had,
water or ate.
yeah, I should have drank more water. I was,
How are you not
uh,
falling over, dude?
I was focused. We had some beef jerky. I had two Smuckers.
High protein.
Yeah,
A lot of
I
protein in
do.
them Smuckers. I
Yeah,
love
we
those.
should have. Obviously, the days are short. We wanted to grind all day, but I do believe how Saturday night felt, Max. We would have caught a fish or two at night.
Yeah, like breaking
Saturday,
during the
but
middle of the day, maybe.
yeah,
And
but we had to check in and all the other stuff, get some food. But
once we started talking about burgers and beer, I knew we were not long for the night.
right, yeah,
Started looking at when restaurants stopped serving food, saw 9 p.m., 10 p.m. I'm like,
we're out
Whoa.
of here.
we got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
I mean, that was, yeah, like I told you at the boat ramp, I mean, that beer is going to hit like freaking Mike Tyson in his prime.
yeah,
And it sure did. I mean,
yeah,
that was well earned.
yeah. I made the comment it's really going to hit me because I hadn't eaten all day.
Yeah.
uh,
Dude,
Yeah.
they oh God. There's some days where beer just hits incredibly different in so many ways. There's a few times where I've had a sip of beer and it's like, hell yeah, have a couple. And then there's sometimes where you take 2 sips of beer and you just completely pass out.
yep.
That puts you to sleep.
Yeah,
You wake up with a 3/4 left beer. You're like, oh, rowdy night.
Yeah.
well, it sounds like you might have a couple other trips on the books here this fall, Becker. You talked about a potential Mille Lacs send or one other trip for a giant hunt, but what's the rest of the fall look like for you? I mean, is there still a good bite on Clear Lake up until ice up, or how does that kind of work for you? When do you typically put the boat away?
Yeah, no, it's good here all the way until ice up. Um, there's tough days, but then there's also really good days, and they will bite until it's frozen, and the windows become even tinier. But we like to go travel south a little bit here in the state and fish. And other than that, Mille Lacs, and then maybe back to Northwest Iowa. We're talking Mille Lacs, maybe like the second weekend of November, and just try and chase a true 50 pounder again the right way during the day and see what happens.
Love it.
Love that. So is that I mean, are you going into a trip like that still to this day, because you've caught some giant fish out of Mille Lacs. I mean, you showed me the pictures, so you obviously know the potential and know what you're doing up there. But what are the expectations like going into a trip like that this day and age? I mean, are you expecting to go up there and get a couple bites, one bite? What's kind of the expectations for that trip?
Yeah, I know Mille Lacs really well, and I know the fall spots really well. But if I go up there in the fall, I have no expectations. I don't even expect to see one, to be honest. And you usually will see one, you'll get one of those big ones to move and hopefully catch it, but typically not. I don't kind of sidetrack here. I don't know when you guys were talking about going up to Vermilion, but Halloween Day, Vermilion and Mille Lacs, I don't care. Like every single year it happens, somebody catches, whether it's Vermilion, it's a 40 plus pounder, or Mille Lacs, it's a 50 plus pounder. For whatever reason, Halloween Day always kicks out a giant. And that's when my second biggest from Mille Lacs, weight wise, I have the 255s. One was in June. I got the 54 by 26 and a half was on Halloween Day. I don't even remember what year that was. 2018, 2019, somewhere in there.
Giant
So,
fish. What did
yeah,
that one eat?
pounder.
Pounder.
Yep. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Mega wind on the west side. Like the day before I fished and was fishing the west side and just a nice chop, nothing crazy for Mille Lacs. I went to Spirit Island, which is kind of southwest, and it was flat calm. Fished a little bit on Spirit Island and was going to go back to a different spot north, and the wind picked up and it was like insane, 4-footers. By myself, put my life jacket on, and was like just barely getting back, like just north. I get back to my main spot that I had been fishing, and it laid off completely flat again. Just that lake generates its own wind. You got to be careful out there.
Oof.
Damn.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
scare me a little bit.
Yeah. And then the next day was mega wind, and I literally made like one early in the day. I made a cast. When I caught it, I made like 1 or 2 pulls, and then went to pull again and just set the hook, and it just didn't move for several seconds, and then just comes at head shaking. Yeah, it's crazy. Those fish are a different breed.
They look,
Unreal.
yeah, they look like an alien,
Otherworldly.
yeah,
Oh man,
alien
it's
type
crazy
fish.
how heavy they get and big.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be fun to give it a spin a couple times. I said I was gonna get up there this year, but just never really. There's just so many places to fish, man. I just hard to decide where to go. What do you got there,
Yes,
guys?
XL dipstick. This
Ooh,
thing's got to be,
that thing's sick. That would work up there.
yeah, because this is
that would have worked where we were fishing.
Yep,
with the tail out, it's a little bit bigger than a 13-inch grandma.
nice.
So this is a Cisco color. Going to be rigging this thing up for pretty much now.
Yeah, that would have been great for this weekend, Max, for sure.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I felt a little limited with my tackle box that's pretty geared towards
Bucktails.
summer muskies.
Dude, I literally had so much in the boat, and I was unloading some of it this evening and pulled out my whole box of Wade's wobblers with the deep ones and the shallow ones. I'm like, oh my gosh, we should have used these.
Yeah, it just there's always so many times you get back from a fishing trip and you're just like,
Hindsight, yep.
what was I thinking? Like, why didn't I
Right.
throw this way more? Just so dumb. But yeah, this the 10-foot 6 Gus, I think I gotta get some more versatility in the lineup. It's just
Yeah, dog, all
it's
good.
I gotta
Get I
gotta
think
buy
I
some new stuff.
get you a hook up there. Help you out there, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not, you know, you do have to have different types of rods and what you're comfortable with. You can't throw a 6-inch glider on a 10-6.
You can, just not well.
You're right. I shouldn't say can't, but
Um,
yeah.
Becker was telling me he knows folks that have been using 11 footers. which is
Is that
Wow.
like crappie fishing or what?
I don't know.
That's
He
what you
said
use an 11 footer for.
something like that. That's insane. They shouldn't even make a muskie rod that long, but apparently they do.
I feel like that would get to a point where it actually would be just more fatigue on you to
Yeah,
just
for
cast the
sure.
rod.
Yep.
Like the 9 to 10, like 8, 6 to 10 foot. That's the sweet spot.
Yeah. Yep.
8 to 10, I guess. I
Yep.
mean,
For sure. That's all you need. Can't overthink these fish. We already got the rods that can handle these baits, and you get into the 11-foot realm. What are you going to throw a top water, and your hook set's going to be delayed for about 4 seconds?
yeah, and you rip a mag dog and you realize
Yeah.
that's moving like 8 feet in the water before it head
Yeah.
drops. It's like, wait a
Right.
second, they might not want that.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
that's
Yeah.
true. Can't overthink them. I mean, not to this is no disrespect to
No,
Suick at
no.
all, but I'm saying like we were just joking too. Like these fish, we think they're so smart sometimes, and then they're just chowing a plank of wood that goes up and down. It's like,
The diving rise that does the least of any diving rise ever made.
but it also, yeah, but it just still smashes fish. They just love them.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah.
I got a question and potential challenge for you, Gus. Do you throw many double
Ooh.
tens this time of year? Like right now?
I have tried it. I am the guy that has not had luck on it. I'm not like the
Like slow rolling them?
yeah, to
Okay.
my knowledge of what I think a slow roll is, where I feel like I'm barely getting them spinning and they're going deep.
Yep.
So I think I know where you're going at with
I was gonna
this.
challenge you to catch one with it because I
Yeah.
I was telling Max like, dude, I used to catch them to like 42-degree water. It used to be one of my good tactics late because nobody else does it. But
That's what you caught on this weekend.
yep,
Oh,
Double
you really?
ten.
yep.
Come on.
The
Yeah.
old black
Slow?
nickel mayhem cowgirl 10
Slow?
slow.
Yeah.
I nicked a weed, or she nipped it, or I nicked a weed and then kind of cranked hard off, and she just hammered it.
Mm,
Yeah,
Nice fish.
mm-mm. Okay.
Yeah, all
I think
those
I can do
bites
that.
on Suix and whatever else. We got bites on gliders,
yep.
and then the one fish just comes on a big old bucktail.
Big old bucktail.
Yeah, and we moved a big one on it too. Couple of them, couple fish,
Yeah.
one big one.
That might be good to know because if we can get them to move on that, maybe obviously hopefully catch them. But then up here the tradition, you know, soaking live suckers, and
No, for sure.
the
It's
goal is to bring them to the boat. But
yeah.
man,
If you
I'll
get
do
the
it.
right conditions, cloudy or some chop, and you can just slow, and it like if they're just following, sometimes that can be the ticket.
Yeah, I mean, we're still in that 50 some degree water temp, and I've been telling people that the latest bucktail bite we got last year was 52 degrees. Um, and that was on a sunny, like warmer day,
Yep.
like a hoodie day, hoodie and boots maybe. Not like multiple layers. But it was kind of windy, but really
Yep.
sunny, I remember. So I don't know. I'll do her. I got some cowgirls. I don't know if you think the tens are the magic, or if maybe like a big stagger, small stagger, if you kind of got,
Yeah, you could still use staggers. I always just went with tens, but I don't see why a stagger wouldn't work.
because it was last year, it was a 7-8 Huntsy that got the bite in 52-degree water. Um,
Nice.
but 42, I think I'd probably take your advice more on the
Yeah,
tens.
tens and super, super slow.
Just getting them
No,
just chugged.
there's a lot better tactics when it gets to 42, but I just brought it up because it's a tactic like right now for you when if nothing else is working, mix it in.
Yeah, I think it's worth a shot, especially if we got multiple people casting.
Yeah,
It's
like clients. Yep,
yeah, just out of the back, just slow rolling, like yeah, until they get good confidence with it.
for sure.
So no, appreciate the challenge. I don't know if I got one for you. I was gonna say, oh, never mind. All the docks are gone. They would be all gone by then, Clear Lake.
Yeah, They're not gone yet, but they will be
Yeah.
probably by mid to late November for sure.
Oh man.
The ones that are remaining right now are really good, if that says anything.
Find the docks.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that kind of inspired me to almost want to like flip docks around here
Oh,
on some
isn't it?
places. Yeah, absolutely.
Dude,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah. I still watch your video of the championship. That was textbook
Great.
clear lake.
Great bite. I
Oh,
I
yeah.
was pretty pretty excited to have that happen during the tournament with all the dock fishing. I think I said it in the pod we did, but freaking 3 days in a row pre-fishing, flipping docks, and then it took and day one
Yeah.
of the tournament flipping docks. So on day 5 of being in Clear Lake, finally got the first dock flipping muskie.
Like, like Max knew, but you were probably like, Becker's an idiot. They're not even here.
I kind of knew they would or they are there. I just think
Yeah.
either we're not picking the right ones or because of the weather we had, it was not,
Yeah.
the bite flopped a little bit.
Yeah. They weren't using them a ton. Like day one, obviously, Alex and I were on them pretty good. And then they just kind of vacated most of the docks. It seemed like that we were doing good on, I should say.
Were you guys getting those bites off the docks on spinner baits?
No, no,
No, that
rubber.
was rubber. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All the spinnerbait action was weeds like everybody else. And then the dock was all rubber stuff.
Got it. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shit. I mean, you guys got anything else? We're running at
No,
right
that
about
was,
an hour and a half or so.
that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gus, you got anything else you want
had
to
a
clean up?
time. No, I mean, um, other than I mean, we'll ask this later, but might as well right now, Ryan, if you got a way people want to get or can get in touch with you to book a trip with you. Like you said, you're running until probably ice up. So socials or what you're willing to give out.
Yeah. Iowa Muskie Guide Service, Facebook page and Instagram page we have for that. And then otherwise my number is 641-529-2680. And yeah, it's for sure until mid-November I'll probably go guide wise.
Yeah, I mean it's shit. It's I've had a blast getting to learn Iowa a bit this year. I can't thank you enough for showing me around a couple different times. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I don't want to send too many people your way and overcrowd your Iowa stuff, but if you're ever looking for a fun Saturday road trip, I'd recommend heading down and checking out one of these Iowa lakes on your own or with Becker and just kind of, doing it because yeah, they're fun for sure. Your state's done a really good job stocking muskies. It's cool to see that if you actually put forth some effort and money and allocate some resources to it, these lakes can be pretty filled with muskies.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely some spectacular fishing. And our fisheries biologists all over the state do a great job. And they're adding some new lakes and just continuing to stock well. So that's definitely come check it out.
That'll be great. Add in some new lakes, spreading out the pressure a little bit and getting some new stuff to explore.
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple sneaky hidden ones that are young that they'll be good in 5-10 years for sure.
Sweet.
Right on.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's pretty awesome to have that. I do not think I know of anything in Wisconsin that's getting stocked for the first time now. I think the last place, to my knowledge, was Geneva, unless there's some underground stuff going on. Um, but yeah, they've been switching up strains and whatnot, and yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Definitely not the numbers of what Iowa does. But
No.
we
Yeah,
we
there's
got
some new.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just say we got them up here, but not
Oh
not
yeah, you guys got a hell of a fishery for sure. There's one we'll have to talk about, guys, offline that they stop. They put the acreage is it's not a big lake, but they put like 990 in it initial. It's in you'd be like, what? Yeah. So our DNR just they do a good job. They do what Minnesota should still be doing, and like that first initial stocking, they make it so it establishes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not a knock against Minnesota DNR or any of that, but it's like that stuff like that matters. And that was proven in the early 2000s, and it's proven here. I mean, you get an established base and then you continue your just normal stocking and you got healthy fisheries.
Yep.
Right on. Well, we don't
Pretty
have
much.
Brian to take us away, unfortunately, tonight. Um, but yeah, that's all I got. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode this week. Fun chat, Ryan, and yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Gus, send us away.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks again, Ryan. Had a blast as always chatting here. Like Max said, Brian would normally take us away, but if everyone here wants to, before we sign off, give us a follow. Ryan's socials, Muskies on Tap socials, Facebook, Instagram, Suggs Fishing Guide Service. It's where we do a lot of posting and whatnot. And yeah, if you want to give us a rate or the follow button or whatever it is on podcasts, that would be very much appreciated. And as always, thanks for tuning in and catch everybody on the next one.